Hi, I'm Calico Vargas, and I'm the MSW Field Coordinator at CSUP for our social work department. I wanted to send this recording of a PowerPoint presentation for orientation for those who are being our field instructors and field liaisons. Instructors are the people who are out in the field with our students providing supervision for them as social workers with an MSW and 2 years experience minimum. And our liaisons are the faculty members from our department who work with our students in the classroom setting regarding field. So to get started, I want to just share my screen and take you into the presentation that I have come up with. Here we are. Let's see. Okay, so thank you very much for attending this orientation and for viewing this presentation. We appreciate you very much. It's great to have partners in the community that we can both have our students learning from and that we can assist in helping to fill needs and gaps that exist. So as we get started, just an overview of the field practicum. Our BSW program completes a total of 448 clock hours of placement, 224 in the fall and 224 in the spring. Generalist MSW students complete 448 clock hours of placement, 224 in the spring and 224 in the summer. So you can see it's parallel. Our generalist students generally do not come from a social work program, and being that it might be psychology, it might be sociology, another field altogether, sometimes teaching, education, but these students are kind of new to social work, and so the generalist students' hours being that of the BSW program hours is similar, and that's for good reason. These guys are getting started, and usually this is their first field placement. Now with the specialized MSW program, including students who are in advanced placement, they complete 500 clock hours, 250 in the fall and then 250 in the spring. And we do have a website right here listed below that you are free to go and check out all things field on our social work page. So we follow 9 competencies in the field from CSWE, and they are listed here: demonstrating ethical and professional behavior, engaging diversity and difference in practice, advancing human rights, social, economic, and environmental justice, engaging in practice-informed research and research-informed practice, engaging in policy practice, engaging with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities, and then also assessing and intervening and evaluating practice with those areas. So to monitor our student success around those 9 competencies, we have a learning plan that's due in the first 3 weeks of the semester, and it's written by the field instructor and the student on Tavera. So you guys kind of join forces together. The field instructor's familiar with the agency that the student's been placed at, and you come up with a learning plan to hit those 9 competency areas. It maps out the internship meeting all of those 9 competencies required by CSWE, and then it is signed by the student, the instructor, and the liaison, and monitored by the field coordinator. There are site visits that occur from the field liaisons or their classroom instructors. One is an in-person visit. It's going to happen usually within the first 4 weeks of the semester. And then one is another over the phone, email, or in person towards the mid to the end of the semester. So the agency, field instructor, student, and liaison can be a part of these site visits and meetings, and it is also monitored by the field coordinator. Again, to continue monitoring our student success, we have a final learning plan and evaluation on Tavera, and this is usually towards the end of the semester when the student and the instructor write down detailed information about the field experience for all 9 competencies. And it is fine to take the initial learning plan and continue developing it throughout the semester by just adding in when you realize you've hit a goal or met an objective that you wrote in on that plan. You can continue that throughout the semester so you're pretty caught up by the end if you don't want to wait until the end to do it. And then it's signed again by the field liaison and the field coordinator, and it's monitored by the field coordinator. It also is signed off on by the field instructor. Then there's the midterm check-in on Tavera, which happens no later than week 8 of the semester, and comments and signatures from both the student and the field instructor are there, and then the approval of the field liaison is given, and it's monitored again by the field coordinator. Timesheets and supervision are signed off weekly by the student, field instructor, and field liaison, and monitored by the field coordinator. Weekly supervision meetings should be had by the student and the field instructor, as is common practice to seek supervision weekly in the social work field. So here is a little video on using Tavera that I've created for field instructors. Hi, I am Professor Calico Vargas and the MSW Field Coordinator at CSUP. I wanted to put this video together for our field instructors who give supervision to our social work students in the MSW program. And I'm hoping that this can be something that you can both learn from and then refer back to as needed as you're getting started with Tavera, which is the software program we use for everything field. So I'm going to share my screen with you and just start by showing you the ease of actually getting into Tavera. It happens by going to our field practicum page, but if I backtrack, you can see I can start from just a home page for CSUP. I'm going to move this out of the way. And if I wanted to do a search, I would put in social work right here at the top and then search, and you will see social work CSUP right here. We'll get into the field practicum on our social work page. And then down, if you scroll, it gives you information about our admission requirements, our coordinators, next steps. Here's the link to Tavera at the bottom. And we also have our field placement documents down here, which would include our MSW field manual, and we'll soon include also our field orientation for the MSW program. But I'm going to click on Tavera's link, and then we're going to go in, and what you would do here at this point is put in your email address, and then below the password and login. And I must have done something wrong. Maybe it's the number 1. Okay. And then it's going to take you to your location, and we are going, I think, for United States. This is my first time in the program as a field instructor, so apologies if I'm going a little slow for any of you who've done this before. I wonder if we can type in, nope. All right, oh, there it is. I passed it up right at the beginning, United States. And then of course, we're coming to you from the great state of Colorado. Submit. And then it's gonna tell me what's new, the terms and conditions. I'll go through, read all of this information just so that you have the information. Scroll. And we are going to get down to the bottom where you're going to click I have read and agree to the privacy policy terms and conditions after reading it, hopefully, and then I accept. And it's going to open up to Tavera. So what's really cool here is you can see you can do emails on Tavera, but over here is the little 4-square page. It's actually giving you a tutorial section, so you can go and learn various things through video and reading about Tavera and how it works. Anytime you click on something and you want it to close back up, you're just gonna
re-click on what you have already clicked on. Okay. Back to the home screen here, program tasks. If there are any tasks that are waiting for me to sign as a field instructor, that's where I can find them. You could also find them up here in your emails. Records. This is going to give me access to anything of my students. So as we begin this semester, the first thing that the students need to do is get working on timesheets and learning plans. The timesheets get turned in weekly, and they should be experiencing something within, various realms on the timesheets for the competencies. We don't want them to focus just on one thing, but to spread it up and around. And if they have trouble seeing how they're using skills in different areas, we would appreciate your instruction there with them on that and your supervision and help. But outside of that, right now we currently also have safety plans, which is kind of a preparation in case something happens with COVID or another disaster or crisis. And then we have a learning plan. And this learning plan is something at this point that the student is going to be responsible for. You'll have their name and everything. Here you go. So make ethical decisions by applying the standards of NASW Code of Ethics, et cetera. Then they're going to explain the laws and how they relate to the placement. So this is just an example. And this is an area where once you click next, it goes, further down into competency 2, into competency 3, competency 4, breaks it all the way down with all of our 9 competencies. 8, 9, and here is where you sign. So the student will have to sign the form first, letting you know that they're done. Then the field instructor would sign, then the faculty or liaison would sign. And once that happens, this document is going to go and turn into the final learning plan or final evaluation learning plan. That will mean that the students are requiring more writing from you on it. We want to hear in that document. I don't think we have it in here, but it might come up later. But in the final plan, you're going to be more active in the role of writing in each of the boxes beside the students' activities to kind of comment and let us know from your perspective what that looked like, how it happened, whether it was, useful, and how it impacted their education in the field. So that is all found in records, any of these kinds of things that you want to do. Timesheets should also be found there. Again, tasks, okay? Clinical trainee tasks. This might be mailed to you from a student or from me or Professor Gonzalez in the BSW program. I know that we try to keep current resumes in here and agency information in here. So we might email you a task through Tavera asking you to complete those. Then the field instructor, let's see here. Again, field instructor tasks. So then we have the student tasks, and you will find everything student in this area. So that's the home page, a little bit of a tour. Next, right here is, again, another way to access tutorials. This is another way to access your tasks. Let's see, you can have a drop-down menu in almost any box in Tavera to select from. And then the program tasks and files, okay? So back up here to your mail, you can view all and whatever you have in there for you, most likely from your students or from us, will be here. You can see your sent, your drafts, your archived, very, very relatable, just like a regular email box. So here, if you want to compose a message, you're going to do the message box and it'll give you an area. You can also attach documents. If you are going to compose a note, this is what your screen will look like. And again, you can attach. If you would like to compose a task, you can actually send documents and existing records this way. So, and again, there's the send button at the bottom of each of these, discard. So I hope that this was helpful. Again, I want to just recap a little bit. In our, let me stop sharing my screen. Oops. Okay. In our classes, we first focus on getting timesheets, learning plans, and safety plans in place. So those will be the first tasks that your students are asking you to collaborate with them on. And we really would like to have the timesheet started right away, first week. We would like to have the learning plan and the safety plan within the first few weeks of the program, for sure. And again, professors may have different timelines for these assignments. Around week 7, you will find a midterm evaluation, and that is very similar and easy like the learning plan is. You will kind of note a few comments. After the student notes their comments, they will grade themselves on a scale, and then you will grade them on a scale. And then at some point in the first 5 weeks of the course, no later than 5 weeks, we want to have a site visit with you. So at around 1 to 5 weeks, plan on please, either by Zoom or in person, meeting face-to-face with your field liaison, which is the person teaching the field class from the university, and your student that you're supervising. That the student is responsible for getting that set up. So that's one thing that we're doing in the first part of the semester. Then comes the midterm around week 7, which is evaluated through Tavera. Pretty simple, pretty short. Then there's going to be another check-in from your supervisor, and not your supervisor, your field liaison, your class teacher. And that might be an email, it might be a phone call. If there's anything going on that you feel is problematic or something that needs more discussion, it can be in person or on Zoom. And then you will continue with the timesheets until the end when that final learning evaluation plan comes up again. And that has to be turned in for part of their grade. We would love this document to be thorough, to have a lot of information written from you as well as the student, so that we can actually feel like we've seen and been a part of what has happened in their field placement. This document is also something looked at by CSWE, so a very important document. I just want to say we appreciate you so much. We thank you so much for taking your time and your energy and your education and resources and helping to build our students up. We know they appreciate you, and we just really want to let you know that it does not go unnoticed, and we are grateful for you. We hope you have a wonderful semester. If you have any questions for the MSW program, please contact me, Calico Vargas again, and it's calico.vargas, and you should hopefully be hearing from me soon if you haven't already, and at csupueblo.edu. And I also, in my emails, make available my phone number. So please just let us know how we can help. We are looking forward to a successful and fun semester.
All right, great. Let's go to the next slide. Here we go with student expectations and safety. I don't know if this picture looks very safe. So meeting with the field coordinator individually for an interview and discussing safety concerns, arranging an interview with potential placement and discussing safety concerns, attending the field orientation a week before the semester begins, including safety in the field, and attending all required agency onboardings and trainings, including safety at the agency. So we do expect our students to have a level of safety while working in the field, and we appreciate that cooperation. So evaluating the field site effectiveness. We have covered already that we have those learning plans, those timesheets, the evaluations, surveys that can be filled out is something we didn't talk about at the end of the semester, and then our site visits. And with our site visits, there's again one in the beginning of the term, and that one is on site. one toward the end of the term via email, phone, or on site, and then an opportunity for feedback for the agency and the site exists with this, and so does an opportunity to give feedback to the program and the student exist. So we love that open communication. And then the protocol for site placement concerns, if there's any issues that come up, please discuss first between the student and the field instructor or the agency. If needed, there can then be a meeting with the field instructor, the agency, the student, and the field liaison. So we really want to help you help our students succeed, and if there's something going on in the field that you're concerned about, please don't hesitate after bringing it to the student's attention to bring it to their classroom teacher's attention, the field liaison. And if more is needed, we'll have a meeting with the field instructor, an agency, student, field liaison, and myself or Marissa Gonzalez at the field coordinators. And if a termination is appropriate, because we've done everything we can do, and in our policies are a level 1 review, level 2, level 3, and that is because every time we're trying to support the student more and more and make sure that they can be ensured success, kind of wrapping around them with all the people who are involved in the field placement. We want to avoid termination if at all possible, and that's why we have our contracts, and that's why we have everything set up the way that we do. Most of the time our students are extremely successful. The placements work out wonderfully, and it's a great experience for all. But if there is a need for a termination and it's appropriate, then the field manual has a termination form, and that would need to be filled out by the agency and then by the liaison and turned in. So field coordinator responsibilities, I feel like it's fair for everyone to know what's expected, and here administering the quality of field instruction program, recommending policy to the social work faculty, maintaining a current field manual, selecting field agencies with the selection of agency and agency field instructor for field placement guidelines, including visiting the agency and maintaining an active list of approved field agencies, collecting and maintaining documents from the agencies and instructors, and descriptions and field instructors' resumes. More responsibilities include assuring that the approved agencies and instructors meet accreditation requirements through the initial agency visit and yearly visits after the initial approval. We want to orient agencies to CSU Pueblo's social work program and our field instruction program. Plan and scheduling the annual conference on field instruction for all field personnel. There's one in Pueblo and one in Colorado Springs. And then providing field instructors with information about the social work program, including curriculums, policies, procedures, goals, expectations for student performances. And then plan and conduct an annual orientation for students entering the field. So we're going to continue with assuring students meet the minimum qualifications for their placements, provide field instructors with a summary of the student's education experience, particular interests in the beginning of the placement process. Most of our students should come to you requesting an interview. We tell them they should handle this just like a job. They should have a resume. The conversation should be open to discuss all of those matters. We ensure the assignment of the field instructors with primary teaching responsibility for students inside the setting. If there is an instance when we don't have supervisors on site because there's no master level social worker with 2 years experience or more at the agency, maybe they work out of a different building or in a different town, we set up task supervisors that would be then assigned the responsibility of communicating and making sure that the student knows, what's expected and sort of what they need to be doing and working on in the field. And then the field instructor would still provide that supervision, that social work supervision for our students weekly. So approving and assigning students to the field placement setting, providing them micro, meso, and macro level experiences with a variety of client systems, and assuring necessary documentations have been completed prior to the student starting the placement, like the acceptance contract and the memorandum of understanding, which the acceptance contract is in Tavera, and the memorandum of understanding is something that usually we can either give a hard copy or email. Continuing necessary documentation, oops, that's a double, assessing the quality of field instruction provided to each student. So our field liaisons, and my job as I oversee things, is to make sure that the students are getting what they need out of the placement, that they're definitely getting that supervision time, that they're having their voices heard, being able to ask questions, to get answers, and things like that. Your experience in the field is invaluable, and our students really appreciate learning from you. Aiding in the final arbitration of problems and conflicts that might arise during the field placement, assessing and approving the appropriateness of a student change of field instructor or field placement. Sometimes a field instructor leaves, they terminate their employment with an agency, and so we have to be a part of assessing and approving a new instructor coming on board, and sometimes that even means maybe a new field placement. Collecting data and resources for evaluation, reviewing, approving, and arranging courtesy supervision in accordance with CSW or CSU Pueblo's social work department, and requesting university. So the field liaison responsibilities then, and again remember this is the classroom teacher, are going to be to work collaboratively with the field instructor to ensure educational focus and academic integrity in field instruction, meet with the field instructor and student to facilitate the formulation of student learning contract with the agency, meet with the field instructor at least 2 times during the semester, one meeting via teleconference, video conference, or email to review the students' learning assignments and progress toward fulfilling the field education course requirements. Additional contact may be needed and can help resolve concerns that happen in the field. Then strengthen and support the field instructor's field teaching skills and facilitate resolution of problems or conflicts between the student, field instructor, or agency should anything come up. Again, field liaisons are going to collaborate with the instructor in the evaluation of a student's performance at the end of the field placement. They're going to assign the students grades in collaboration with the field instructor and submit the final grade for field instruction to the registrar's office. Secure the necessary evaluation documentation for the social work department. Keep the field coordinator informed regarding developments in the field placement that impact administration of the field instruction program, and make a recommendation about continuing or discontinuing field placement in the agency or continuing or discontinuing field instructor participation to the field coordinator. And here I have a list, our social work webpage, the field practicum page, which again will give you some orientation material. It will give you our manuals for field and just general information about hours, etc., etc. It includes our Tavera link. And here you can go directly to the BSW Field Manual and MSW Field Manual. So again, thank you so much. We really do appreciate our partnership with you. We look forward to working with you and developing more social workers for our communities. And if there is anything at all that you need, our BSW Field Coordinator is Marissa Gonzalez, marissa.gonzalez@csupueblo.edu. And I, again, am Calico Vargas, the MSW Field Coordinator, calico.vargas@csupueblo.edu. And we will definitely look forward to working with you and getting to know you, and really just say thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you do. Your time and your energy is so appreciated. Let us know if you need anything.